Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Burton, and today's video I've been so excited to film because one of my most popular videos on my YouTube channel is my Not Your Typical Disney Cruise Tips video, and now I am back for part 2, and I have waited until I've collected 10 more tips that are really not your typical tips, I think. So I am excited to share these with you. So we're gonna start off with a little one. One thing is, if you have any kids with you that might be sensitive to loud noises, I would recommend bringing earplugs to the muster drill. At the muster drill, they usually will sound off an alarm that is really loud, and I think for most people it's not gonna bother you because it is for a short period of time, so people will just kind of plug their ears. But I have a child that really doesn't like loud noises, so we bring the earplugs with us and he has those in, and it just has made it so much easier. So I would recommend bringing earplugs with you on to the muster drill if you have kids with sensitive ears. Okay, next up, I have a tip I am so excited about, and that is the fact that you can get the Disney blanket that is at the bottom of your bed. It is not in the gift shops, but you can buy it now and without stealing it, okay? So what you can do is you can actually go to guest services and ask if they have any extra blankets for purchase. So it's not guaranteed, it depends on availability. So I would recommend going at the early part of your cruise. As soon as you have time, go to guest services and ask if they have any blankets available for purchase. It is quite expensive, but if you're like me and crazy and it's been your dream to have one of these blankets, you can hopefully do it. I know that on the Wish and the Treasure at least, that you can purchase these at guest services. And so if it's been your dream and you want to have that blanket to remind you of what it's like to be on the cruise, go check out guest services towards the beginning of your cruise and see if you can purchase it. They will charge it to your stateroom, and then your stateroom host will bring it to your room and leave it there once, like the next day. But I have had this at home, and it is just like the perfect weight blanket, and I just love it so much. I think it's the best blanket in the world. So. All right, another tip is that you can actually request to have a robe in your room. So I know at least on the Wish and the Treasure, I've tried this, is I've called down once I've gotten in my room and requested that if they had any robes that they could bring it to our stateroom. This is not for purchase, this is just to use during the stay. But I think originally when we went on the Wish early on, they had the robes in the closets when we boarded. They don't do that anymore. And so if you do want a robe, I think it's nice to just have and wear, like when you're getting ready for stuff, to after you shower, put on the robe and lounge around in that. So that's been really nice, and no charge to have those because you're just using that during your stay. Again, it depends on availability, but if you'd like to have a robe, go ahead and call and see if they can bring one to your room. Okay, here is a tip. You probably know this, but regarding your magic band, make sure that you don't leave it in your luggage, that you actually wear it when you are boarding. Believe it or not, I forgot to do this one time, and it's not a huge deal, but when you are boarding, they will actually link your magic band, or I guess it's called Disneyband. They'll link it to your stateroom when you're getting on board, so it's so much easier. Otherwise, like when I forgot ours and had ours in our luggage, then I had to go to guest services and have it linked up after I got on board, and it's always nice to avoid guest services. So bring your magic band with you, wear it when you are boarding. All right, so now I have some tips specific to ships. One of them is when we went to stay on the Wish, they had the old USB-A ports. They didn't have a lot of USB-C ports, and so we actually have a lot of devices that need the C to plug in, and so we had these adapters that you can plug into the A port that makes it a C port. And so anyways, if you're going on the Wish, I found those really helpful. That might also be helpful on some of the older ships as well. And for the Treasure, we actually didn't really need them because they had a lot of USB-C ports on the Treasure. They'd kind of started using those C more at that point. But you can always look up a room tour, a recent room tour of whatever ship you're going on and pay attention to the ports. But those little adapters came in super handy when we went on the Wish. Another tip is something that I didn't realize until I explored the app a lot is on the newer ships, when you go onto the Disney Cruise app, they actually have an on-demand section in the Disney Cruise app where you can watch that same entertainment that's on demand in your stateroom. You can watch it on your phone in the app. Now, when we went on the Fantasy last year, they didn't have that capability yet, so I think it might just be on the newer ships. But especially if you have little kids and like you're at dinner, it would be really nice that like you're, waiting in line somewhere, you can pull out and, use the app to watch that on-demand stuff on your phone real easily. So kind of neat that they have that feature now. Going back to organization, one thing we bring on our Disney cruises is a hanging organizer. Now, it's careful, you can't do an over-the-door hanging organizer when you're on a Disney ship, but this kind that hangs in the closet, where it's just in the closet hanging and it's not going over a door, that is allowed. And this is great because it just provides more storage and shelves. Now, when we went on the Treasure, it was really interesting. That was one of the big differences between the Treasure and the Wish was the storage. In those closets by the front door, they had more shelves than they did on the Wish. With the Wish, they have a lot of open space, and we really needed this hanging organizer on the Wish. On the Treasure, I feel like that was an improvement, is more shelf area there, but also on the Treasure, when you get the deluxe family that has like the veranda room, but it has the bigger veranda room, so it has some extra space. It's the deluxe family, I believe. They actually had this whole cabinet that opened up and had shelves. So literally I put like Miles' stuff on one side, James's stuff on the other, and it was so great. All the kids' stuff was in that one cabinet. And so way more storage on the Treasure, I felt like, than any other ship that we've been on. So not quite as necessary on the Treasure, but if you don't have that extended cabinet area, I definitely think it's still nice to have this. And then we always have a pop-up hamper as well that we put in the cabinets by the front. But I just wanted to make sure you knew, even when we go on a Disney World trip, basically anytime now, we're like addicted to this hanging organizer, and we have to bring it with us on trips if we're going for a long period of time because it just provides so much more storage. It's like having a whole nother shelving unit. On Embarkation Day, if you want to know where to go for dining reservation changes, you can actually see that in the app. So I feel like a long time ago, they didn't used to put this in the app. And so I would always have to ask a team member where to go. But you can actually, when you board, just look for dining reservation changes. It'll tell you the location because each ship is a little bit different where you need to go to make those changes, which lounge area, and it might even change over time. So I would just always get on, check the app, and if you need to make any dining reservation changes, such as like the rotation you got, or you want to get a brunch reservation for one of the specialty dining, or you want to switch from main to late dining or late to main, you can do that with the dining reservation changes, but just look on the app for where to go for that. One other tip is to make sure to not miss the specialty drinks at Castaway Cay and Lookout Cay. So I did not know for the longest time that there was a specialty drink at Castaway Cay that you cannot get on the ship. It's only at Castaway Cay, and it's called the Conch Cooler. And it is my favorite drink. I love it so much. And now I'm so glad I know about this. So just be aware that you can order that drink at Castaway Cay. Lookout Cay also has a number of specialty drinks. I feel like the most similar one is let me look up the name of it. The name of the specialty drink that is on Lookout Cay is the Eleuthera Euphoria. That one is also really cool. I still like the conch cooler better. I tried both. This when we went on the Wish, we went to Lookout Key and Castaway Key. But they're both fun, but definitely don't miss the conch cooler on Castaway Key, and make sure you get that if you can. Then one other tip for you is regarding pictures. This is always such a feat for me. Every cruise is to get a picture of our family together, and usually there'll be a formal night if you're going on a longer cruise. If it's a shorter cruise, like 4 nights, they might just have a semi-formal night, but they will have pictures in the lobby most nights that you can go. But I would say the busiest night for pictures is either that semi-formal night or the formal night if it's a longer cruise. They will have pictures set up on the main staircase, and everybody's dressed up, and there usually can be some long lines for getting pictures. So I feel like I solved this dilemma this last time, because usually when you're going to do the pictures, I have this dilemma because pictures start, for example, at like 5:15. Dinner's at 5:45. So if I get down there, you want to get down there a little early because the line can get pretty long. So I would probably want to get down there maybe even 15 minutes before 5:15, like get down there at 5 o'clock. Well, having my family wait around and be ready that early, it's just, I don't know. Every minute for kids waiting in line can be hard, especially at the end of the day, and it's like dinner time. And so sometimes I just felt like it was really hard having the whole family wait in line for pictures. I don't know. This first world problems, right? But I don't know. This is probably my best tip, is that you can, I know maybe everyone else has thought of this and not me, but get down there, pick one person from your family, go down, get in line 15 minutes early so you're towards the front of the line, and then have your family come down right at the beginning of pictures. And actually, I was so close to the front of the line and my family was a little late coming down, so I was just like letting people go in front of me until they got there. And nobody's upset about that, right? They're like, great, I get to go sooner. But basically, I got down there, got in line, and got us the front spot. And then basically my family just like walked down, we took our picture, and then we were done in like 5 minutes. And then we actually had a little bit of time to kill before dinner because of that. But I've done it the other way where I was like, oh, well, let's just get down there at 5:30. Then the line was so long, we were waiting, and it was like gonna make us super late for dinner. So then we ended up going after dinner. And then by then, you're kind of all ruffled up and stuff. And so that is what I would suggest, especially if you have a family. If one person can stay upstairs, get everybody ready, the other person goes down, grabs your spot, just get down there about 15 minutes before the posted time, and then have your family come down and just like whoosh, they get to go right up, and usually it'll be perfect timing. If you get down there 15 minutes early, you're gonna be at the front. And so if they just get down there right when it's supposed to start, they're gonna be able to take a picture without waiting, and then you're done really fast. So thanks everyone for watching this video today. I hope there was at least one tip you hadn't heard of. And if you haven't watched my other one, you can check out Not Your Typical Disney Cruise Tips Part 1. There's a lot of great ones in there as well. And stay tuned for more Disney content.